Okay, on this video I'll be talking about light glows. So you can see that when I walk, the light follows him, and then go back. So I'm going to talk about how to do that light glow real quick. And it kind of hovers, it goes around him a little bit. Okay, so in this room I have a question mark here that inside there it's called oLighting, and do a create, do a coded sheet in the control tab, and it's called globalvar light, then light equals surface create, view width, and then view height. So that's pretty much trying to keep it centered in on screen and where he's located at with the width and height there. That's part of it to set this light. The second step, you got to have the step in there, step event, so when the character moves, the light follows him. So it's surface set target called light. Then you want to make sure that the color is going to be white, so that way you can see the character but nothing around the characters. Then you have draw a rectangle, so you're going to at 0, 0, view W, view, and then view H view, make it false. Surface reset target, you want to have that reset target in there because it's more or less due to, if you don't have that in there, and I guess it could potentially crash your system, so you want to have that target reset in there. And so basically what it's doing here is drawing the light onto the game room so you can see the character, and only the character, because that's what's focusing on, the light. And everything outside the character is going to be black. Then you have a draw event, and the draw event is basically going to do a blend mode, which is going to subtract the lighting. So outside the lighting, it's subtracting, making everything else in the back black except for the location of where the character's at, which is going to make it a light in that location. And then it's drawing a surface for the light. The focal point is the character, so the light's going to be in that location. Everything around it's going to be black, of course, because you're subtracting. Then the blend mode for normal. For the light, I'm going to also have a link in there in the description where you can go to get more information about, why things are. So it's more, so the other guy will try to explain a little better than I will. But pretty much what it's doing here is just subtracting. So you have the light, it's focusing on the character, and subtracting the light from the background. So the background's going to be black, of course. Alright, so all this information is on the question mark, and then you have, I made an image. You don't have to have an image here if you don't want to, but I made an image here. So what's happening here, I have two images, and basically it's going to kind of make the light blink back and forth by having these two images animate real quick. And I have it centered. And in the code here, it's stating that this image is going to be targeted onto the player, because the player right now is at stop right. So all the other images on the player here are going to be parented to the stop right. So object player stop left, parented to object stop right. Object stop right doesn't need a parent because it's by itself, it's the main target. Then object player move left is parented to object right. Then move right is parented to stop right. So the next portion of the code for the lighting is in the image circle here, and like I said, it's going to, this image is going to target the object player right, so when he moves, the image will follow the character. The place, length, and my speed, all this is at 5. This makes the circle kind of hover around, circle around the character at 5 speed. If you didn't want it to hover at all, just make all these numbers here 0, and the circle will not hover. It will just stay static. Alright, and this image is just, you don't have to have this image. You could make it, you don't have to have this image at all if you don't want to, but because this is just going to be an image, and then the light's going to be on top of the image pretty much. So then you have the image going to follow the player on the X view and the Y view. When he moves, the image will follow him. That's what's stating right here. Then you have the end step. Okay, and this end step, okay, so this right here is the end part of the code for the lighting. So I have the size at 200. So this is about the same. The lighting is going to be at 200, and the image is about 250. So like the light is going to be, I think, in front of this image here, and so it's going to be about the same size as the image. The light is going to be the same size as the image, and it's going to subtract, meaning that, you know, the background's going to be black, and then it's going to focus on the character, which is going to be the white portion of the light. It's going to target the light, and it's going to be, the light's going to be like an eclipse, so it's going to be a circle brightness, and it's going to do these views here, and you can change the color of the, you can change this color to white or orange or whatever, so the light can be a different color if you want. It doesn't have to be white, it could be orange or whatever you want. This color has to remain black, because if you don't have black, then it's going to mess up the room. Like if I change this to yellow, let me show you what happens here. So you can change this number up here. Instead of 200, you can make it 300. That makes the light bigger and bolder circle, but I just made it 200 because that's pretty much the size of the image here that I'm using. Okay, see, this makes it too sharp. Makes the light too sharp. So with making, so if you make this color here black, then it pretty much fades the color. So it goes out so far and then it fades. If you make it a color, then it doesn't fade. It makes it too sharp. See, now it's faded. And if you didn't want that image on there, you don't have to have that circular image if you don't want to. And you could make this light conform more to the image here, getting closer, so you could change this value to like 100 if you wanted to, and then it would pretty much be more conform to the image. See, you can't really see the image now. You just play with the numbers there and change it. Alright, so let me show you one other thing you can do here. So I'm not going to use this image here, so I'm gonna actually save this real quick. one more time. Alright, now what I'm going to do to this image. Now, if I don't want this image here, I can delete this and then go to images and just... Actually, I can probably just turn this off right here. Just turn it off here. You don't want to get rid of this image because you have the actual light happening right here, so you can't really get rid of this image. But you can turn it off. I think... I don't know, it might not work. Okay, it does. See, now I got rid of the image. So we got rid of that image that was on him. Now it's just lighting completely. And if you didn't want that thing to hover like it's doing now, you can go into the lighting there. Change these numbers to 0. Make sure they're set to 0. Now it shouldn't hover. See, now it's static. Now it's not hovering. And that's how you do a light effect for Game Maker Studios here. So you need this question mark in here that does all this code right here. Pretty much this sets up the light, this lighting fixture in the room. You need the step event. So you want it to be white, you want the view, you want X view and H view in the room, so it follows the character and it stays conformed in the center of the character. Reset target, you want that in there, otherwise it could crash the system. And the draw event of the light, you want the blend mode, so it blends off to the side from white to dark. And centered, of course, X and Y view. And then you want to, on the image itself of the lights, you're going to have, like I said, this the image follow the character. It targets the length direct and the length Y. And I've talked about this stuff in my previous videos. In step, and this actually does the color effect, how big the brightness is going to be, and it's going to be an eclipse, which is a circle for the brightness, and the blend mode is going to be in there as well, and the Y and X view. And I'll give you all this code in the description below, and like I said, you could change this white to a different color. So if I can change this to orange or something. Just don't change this color here, because otherwise it'll make it too sharp. Unless you want it sharp. See, now it's yellow. And like I said, if you want it sharp, just go into this end step and then change this black to a color. I change this back to white or something, or make both of them white. Make both white. I want to see what happens. So I guess if you really want a cartoon feel, I can change this to 30. See, now it's really sharp. Kind of like a target on the character itself. So if you want it sharp, you can make a color for it, or if you want it faded, just keep it black. Yeah, so like I said, if you want the circle to be sharp, add a color here to the end here. If you want it more faded, just keep it black. And it'll be faded around the edges there. Alright, I think my next video I may do like Game Maker Studio shortcuts, or also may do 8-directional person, which is more like an RPG game where you go up, down, left, right, or you can also go at an angle, going down an angle, right, down an angle, left, up an angle, right, up an angle, left, and have a character follow him as well. So, but I've been trying to mess with it, have some glitches with it, because when the character moves at an angle, when he's following the character, it kind of blinks a little bit and then comes back. So I don't know, I gotta try to fix that, but if not, I'll just still show the video anyways. Okay, well, thanks for watching.